Well, hello. You're going to hear my printer in the background. And I did call this Friday Morning Mayhem, and it is definitely Friday Morning Mayhem. So I'm sorry I'm late. And Angie, thanks for the phone call. I have a Zoom meeting in a little while, and I was printing off all this stuff for my Master Gardener Zoom meeting. And so it was like, oh my gosh. I didn't realize what time it was. And so papers, I'm printing off. We have a state Master Gardener meeting 3 times a year. And I'm a past president, so I had to have everything that I needed ready. So I was printing. Hello. So Debbie says, I don't see anything. That's because I was late. Angie is here. Thank you very much for the phone call again. Ann Dale is here. Hello, Ann. Craig is here, and Carol is here. So good morning. Do you ever have those times that it just seems like your life is mayhem? You're trying to get everything done. You got your list, you got this, you got that. That's my day today. It's mayhem. And then we were going to Rapid City. I'm leaving my Zoom meeting early so that we can go to Rapid City because we are seeing family, and my siblings were having dinner with my parents before we go south. Oh, and Craig says that it snowed at the cabin. We didn't get any snow. We got just over 2 inches of rain, which was awesome. And I saw that Casper had just a skiff of snow. So there was some snow around Wyoming, but we didn't get any, which I was totally happy about. And the sun is shining now. Ann says, Charlene, hello first. And then Ann says, daily mayhem. Sometimes it feels that way. Sometimes it's just the busyness of life. Sometimes mayhem is, I think sometimes it's miscommunication. And so that can be really interesting. Craig says it just rained in Rapid City. That's what I understand too. My brother said that they had at their house 2.5 inches of rain. So they had just a little bit more than I did, which is awesome. But I mean, we didn't have runoff. It just soaked in. So that was just fabulous. And good morning, Carrie. How are ya? So Friday mornings is a thing that I have been trying for a few weeks. I had put out a poll with my YouTube channel, and I had asked I gave some different time slots. And Tuesday night was the highest. And so I had started my lives on Tuesday night. And then Friday morning got, I think 15%, but that was my only morning option that I had given. So I told everybody I was going to try both times. Now, when I get down to Arizona, because we are leaving on Friday, not today, next Friday, and I'm going to start a thing that's called Meet My Friends. And a long time ago, I used to do a live stream that I talked about a different channel each time. And it was fun, but I just basically talked about them. I showed clips from their videos and things that they do, things about them, and asked people to go over. But now I'm going to do it with them as the guest. And actually, Ann Dale at Ann Dale's Homestead has agreed to be my very first person. So I'm totally excited about that. And so you'll look forward in November for that. And we're just working out times and dates and stuff like that. And it should be great fun. Ann says, that will be so awesome. Well, Ann and I are kind of peas in a pod. That's what we always say. And so I think it should be really fun, interesting. And I want it to be a little bit different than regular guests up. And so I'm working on some fun things for that. So Carol says, oh, fun. Now, Nightbot, of course, is going to pop up all my different members. Membership is 99 cents a month. And so I appreciate all my members that do that. It helps me with, I always send birthday cards and anniversary cards at the my members give that information to me. Some Christmas gifts sometimes and different things. So it's fun. Lisa says, from my heart, light, soul light to yours, love and lights always. That is so sweet. How are you, Lisa? I hope you're having a good morning. Now, it's just about the weekend. And I always, a lot of people don't like Mondays. I always find Friday is my most mayhem. And maybe it's because the busyness of the week, and then you're going to turn around and you're going to have the busyness of the weekend. And so Friday seems to be mayhem to me. And so that's why I called it Friday Morning Mayhem. And I think sometimes we need a little help with our mayhem. And so maybe we can talk about how we can do that, how we can change, how we can maybe just, it's a matter of perspective. How are you going to look at the craziness in your life and how you're going to change that mayhem into something good, spectacular, fun? Because mayhem can make you overwhelmed, stressed. I watched an old movie, and the little gal, every time she got overwhelmed, she hiccuped. And all of us have things. Like if I get too overwhelmed, I am definitely going to have my eye twitch. It's just one of those things that happen. And then I'll say to myself, girl, you are stressed about something. Sometimes it's you have dreams because it's just like that craziness in your life. And I think your brain is trying to work it out, release that energy, stuff like that. But everybody has something. Some people, they get stressed, they go shopping. That's not a bad idea. No. So what do you think about my hair? It's getting longer, but Angie gave me this stuff because it was getting too blonde and I wanted more of my gray to show. And so you put it on once a week and it has taken all the brassiness out of my hair and lots of my gray is showing now. Though it still has some blonde and even some blonde in my bangs where that comes out. But I'm kind of liking it. It doesn't stay the curl though. I curled it this morning, a couple hours ago, basically all the way straight again. But I think I like it. My grandmother had hair down to her, sorry, my phone was ringing, hair down past her waist. And she would braid it every day. And she was a German. And she would twist it around on her head. And I just always loved that. But I love braided hair anyway. So what I'd like it to be is longer. And then I can just put it on one side and braid it and have the braid in the front. So that's the goal with my hair. Thank you very much for you guys that said that you like the hair. Thank you very much. I do have to find something that will make it the curl stay in more. I mean, I could spray hairspray in it, but you ladies might have some product that you use that you like a lot. So put that in the chat for me. I don't want it to take a long time because my life is crazy enough as it is. And for me, I want to be able to get ready after my shower 10, 15 minutes. I don't want to take a long time. It's, I have friends that it takes them an hour to do all their hair, all their makeup, all that stuff. I don't want to do it. Oh, where will you be moving to? Charlene says, I am stressed over maybe having to move in the spring. Just to a different house or to a different state, different city. For me, because we move twice a year. We're about to go to Arizona, and then in the springtime, we come back here. And even though I've kind of gotten into a rhythm of things I have to do, it is stressful. Oh, so she's going to move from Florida to Kentucky. Wow. That's a big move too. But for me, the easiest thing that I did was I started with lists. I started with lists months before the first time we went to Arizona. What to take, what not to take. Now you will be able to take everything. Well, maybe not. Maybe you don't want to take everything, but it can be very stressful. When you look at stress-related things, so many times, a move is a big stress, a marriage, a divorce, a death, surgery. Those are major things in your life, and it can really cause a lot of stress, a lot of mayhem in your day. And so you really have to say, wow, okay, what can I do? And for me, it's easier to break it down. It's easier to say, okay, I'm going to move. What am I going to take? The things I'm not going to take, you got to sell those things. And Johnny says, we want to sell everything and start over. When my parents sold their house to my brother, it was very stressful for my mom. I suppose not so stressful as much for my dad, but they were getting rid of basically everything, other than some personal things, because they were moving to a house down the road. So they weren't moving far, but it was a house that my sister owned. So it was all completely furnished. And so they had an auctioneer come in, and us kids could bid on stuff too. But it was real stressful for my mom. But then in the long run, I think it worked out real well for her, because I went over a few times. We went through stuff, what things do you really want to keep? What things, but you just get used to your stuff, and it can be good, bad, old, new. It's still your stuff. But it was something that the auctioneers came and did the stuff. And then the people came to their house and bid on things. And I think there were some things that they probably thought would go for a lot higher, but there were things that they didn't think would go for very high. And they did, because at an auction, it always just depends on what somebody wants to buy and what they want to pay for it. But it is a mayhem. It is a craziness in your life. But with the auctioneers, and they were selling all that stuff, basically all their furniture, all their stuff like that, big things, little things, it started, it let them start over. And so Charlene, it's letting you start over. And that's not a bad thing, though. Even with us living in two different places, I can't even tell you how many times it's like I'm looking for something, and then I have to come to the conclusion, it's not here, it's in Wyoming, or it's in Arizona. And then you have to decide, do I really need that? Do I need two of them? It can just be mayhem. Oh, and look at here. Shelly from Healthy Homestead Chick is in. How are you, Shelly? I watched their live the other night. They are Shelly and Doug are two of my favorite people in the entire world. Carol says, pray and press on. Shelly, we're talking about mayhem, and Charlene is about to move this spring to another state. And so we were talking about the stresses of that, because everybody has stresses in their life. I'd like to get to that point where you don't have any stress at all. Life is just like, probably boring, so. But everybody has mayhem in their life. We have people that I know. I have people that I know that if they don't have mayhem in their life, they will make it. Now, I don't want to make it. I don't want to have that kind of stress in my life. But some people just like to have that all the time. Shelly says, I don't think any of us ever get there. I think that's true. We have to put it all in the Lord's hands. He will put us where he wants us to be. Oh, that's true. I think sometimes we think we're in total control, and That is totally not the case. We would like to think of ourselves in control, but it's not true. No, the clouds are moving a little bit, so it might be lighter or darker different times. I don't have the above light on because it shines. It kind of glows on the top of the screen. But, it's okay. Anne says, if we are still breathing, there certainly is stress, but we persevere. Sorry. It's true. Angie says stress and mayhem motivates. It can. Yeah. I think it's your personality. Some people, I think, can get frozen in it. But if you can set some goals and you know that mayhem isn't going to be there forever, I think that can be real helpful. So like if you're moving from one state to another state, it can be very stressful, beforehand while you're doing it. And when you get in there and you have to settle everything down, but it's going to end. Stress is going to end. Those things are going to end. Anne says, yep, we are so not in control. And that Lord of ours has a sense of humor sometimes. There's Joe. Hi, Joe. Joe doesn't pop in very often, so he must be just listening to us. Joe, we're talking about mayhem. And stress, and if it motivates, it's what we do. Can we do? I'm talking about making lists. That's what helps me. I am a list one. Oh, people are saying hi to you, Joe.
I'm a list buster. Hi, everyone.
He's so funny. See, everybody's saying hi to you.
Down with lists.
It just depends. Some people, that's not their thing. For me, lists are my thing. That makes me, like over here, I have my little what I'm doing each day, and I just cross it off as I go through the day, and then I wipe it off because I used to use paper, but now I have a whiteboard thing, and so then I can just erase it as I get done and start the next day. So it works good for me.
They do work. They motivate you, give you a sense of accomplishment without forgetting stuff.
Yeah, I think they do. Let me move to one side. There, you can see Joe better. Okay. Oh, he's even going to talk to us. Oh my gosh. Okay, Joe, we're leaving in a week. Do you have a list? Do you have a list of things that you're doing?
Nope.
See, that's because I have a list.
You have a lot more stuff than I have.
He thinks that until he starts putting it in the back of the truck.
All they have is a few tools, a few clothes.
Well,
done.
Charlene is a list maker too. Me too. Carrie says, hi, Joe.
Hi.
Anne says, lists stress me out. I always lose them. I need to work on that one. It just depends on what you want to do. I mean, I have a list thing on my phone, and I have different categories, and so that's helpful to me too. So if I'm not at home, I can pull things up on my phone and I go, okay, this is what I was going to do while I was out. And for me, it's just helpful. But anything that can make the mayhem in your life get better. Some people use sticky notes, some people use lists, some people want to just sit in front of the TV, not do anything because it's mayhem. And that's okay sometimes, sometimes you just get stressed. And Shelley says, lists stress me too. Doug is a list person. See, you got to figure out what works for you, if you don't need a list and you can get all your stuff done, I wish I could do that. I would just forget things, because I have lists of I want to get this done and this done and this done today. And it makes it so I can break up my day, and it makes it easier for me. Oh, Rebecca is in here. Oh, good morning, Rebecca. Rebecca was on my live stream the other night, and so was Anne. And Doug, Shelley's husband, was on my live stream. It was so much fun. And I appreciate you guys coming, and some of them gave gifts away with my gifts. And it was just fun just talking to people that I have known for a long time on YouTube. And it was a great celebration. So I appreciate that. Now, Joe and I are going to Rapid City today. Charlene says, we are trying to pay up everything we owe. Pay off everything that we owe, so we won't have to worry about those when we move. That's always a good thing, you know. And if you're selling all of your stuff, you can pay off other things too. Carol says whiteboards are helpful. I agree, but Joe doesn't use it.
My lists are a lot shorter. I do use them when I work on a car I need this tool, this tool, this tool, this tool. So I don't have to keep going back and forth.
Yeah, because anything that makes it easier for you, that's what you should do. Anne says it was an awesome live, Sandy. Thank you for sharing with us. Anne was on my live the whole time. It was so much fun. Now, Joe and I are going to Rapid today. We are going to go have dinner with my parents and all my siblings and their spouses. We're going to see 2 of our girls. We're going to drop off pumpkins and squashes and just different things. Some early Christmas presents, so I don't have to ship them because I don't want to pay for the shipping. So we're going to do that. So for me, I have a list of things that I have that are going in the truck, and some things I already put in the truck so I wouldn't forget. And then on the squash and pumpkins, I have a little piece of paper with the other things that I'm going to bring. So when I start bringing the pumpkins out, I don't forget any of those things. Oh, Joe must be leaving us.
Fading away, baby.
He's fading away. Oh my gosh. Rebecca says, I enjoyed so much supporting you at your 80,000 followers. Thank you. Rebecca was one of the people that was up on my live stream. I didn't get your live notice until it was over, so I missed it. I watched the replay. Oh, thank you. Oh, everybody's saying bye, Joe. Bye, Joe. Bye. It does look dark back there because my window is right in front. And so it makes the rest of the room look dark. So that is crazy. Shelly says, how far apart are your 2 places? My parents have a house here and at the beach. They spend a month at each place. It takes us about 19 hours to drive. It's quite a ways because we live in the very top north part of Wyoming, and we live in Arizona, the very southern west part of Arizona. So it's a long ways for us to go. It's not like, oh, I forgot this, Joe, let's turn around. You know, if I forgot it, it is just like too bad. You know, you either have to figure out something or, you know. Debbie says, hi, Sandy. Sorry, I didn't see when you actually went live because it was black on my phone. Now I see that I'm on my computer. I was late. Angie had to call me. It was mayhem this morning. I was printing stuff off. I have a Zoom meeting in a little bit, and I was getting all ready for that. And I was just didn't realize the time. It was craziness. So I appreciate Angie calling me. I didn't hear when you headed back to Arizona. Do you have a date set? Yeah, we're leaving next Friday. And we're going to spend the night actually 2 nights with one of our sons and his wife that live above Boulder. And then early Sunday morning, we will leave and we'll get to Arizona, spend the night, and then we'll drive into Yuma on Monday. Shelley says, yeah, that's a lot of different. Theirs is an 8-hour drive. And Charlene, when they move, it's going to be a 14-hour drive. Oh, Janet, hello. How are you? I have always loved Janet's YouTube channel name, Homestead Where You Are. Every time I see that, I think of how anybody anywhere can be a homesteader, even right in the city in an apartment. It is amazing what you can do. You can do it in the city, in the suburbs, out on 10 acres, out on 1,000 acres. And I just, every time I see her channel name, it's just like, it just sends all kinds of ideas in my brain. So hello, and how are you this morning? And so it's that this morning is called Friday Morning Mayhem. What can we do so that we help the mayhem in our life? Sometimes you just got to go with that flow. You just got to go. It's going to be a crazy day. I got all these things to do, all these stresses that are bombarding me. But it's what I try to do. I go, it's just for today. Tomorrow, we will see what happens tomorrow, because you are not guaranteed tomorrow. So this is just what's happening today. I'm not going to worry out 2 weeks. I'm not going to worry out what's going to happen. You know, all these different scenarios. You're wasting your time. If you have a situation, not that you can't think, okay, these are the scenarios to fix that. The problem is when you let that mayhem overtake you and you just can't even function. You got to be able to break it down, and because you don't want to be stressed all your life. That'll kill you. That's not what you want to do. Debbie says, I graduated the Master Gardener program October 19th. That's very exciting. I got all my hours in, at least for this year. When you become a Master Gardener, what Debbie's talking about is you do your program. You have to do the whole class. It's about 35, 40 hours of classroom. And then you have to do 40 hours of volunteer service, and you become an actual Master Gardener. Some people take the class, but they don't do the volunteer, so they're not actually a Master Gardener. And then every year you have to do 20 hours of volunteer and 10 hours of continuing education, so that you are always learning more about gardening. And people sometimes tell me, oh, I don't know how you can do that. It is so easy that is, you know, usually my volunteer hours are way over 100 each year, sometimes 200, depends on how many programs I'm working on. And the education, I always like to learn. And so that is always an easy thing for me to do. Ann says, that's right, one step at a time. It's all temporary. And that's what we have to look at. When the mayhem is a craziness in our life, this too shall pass. You know, Charlene says, I have watched your video on making vanilla extract at least 10 times. I hope you do it. It is so good. I have more vanilla at my house than I will ever use in my lifetime. But, you know, sometimes my girls want it. Sometimes I want to give it for gifts. And the longer it sits, the better it gets. You know, it doesn't ever go bad. And so I love it. Shelly says, I've got to get back to work. Nice to see you, Jay. And I am leaving too in just a few minutes, because my lives are always 30 minutes long. I try to make them 30 minutes long. And we have about a minute left. But it's Friday morning mayhem. You have to think, what am I going to do? What am I going to do to change, to help, to move it, to make it so I can breathe? Because sometimes if the mayhem, the stress, the craziness gets too much, you feel like you can't hardly breathe. And that's why some people will have like stress attacks. So let's break it down in lists, break it down in parts. Say it's only for today, and tomorrow it's going to be different, so that you can breathe. Oh, she's making vanilla right now. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. But thanks for coming in. Angie, again, thank you very much for calling me, because I did not realize the time. It was, you know, it was one of those mornings of mayhem. Thank you very much. We will, I'll do videos as we go along. And so you can see, because they're beautiful trips. And we try to make a little bit different trip each time so that we're seeing different things. So I will see you again. I have a Tuesday night live. I haven't done my vanilla bean rice pudding. I have been doing jars and jars and jars of pear juice because I took all my little pears and that's what I'm using to make pear juice. But it takes a long time. And so I tomorrow morning, first thing after breakfast, I am making my vanilla bean rice pudding, and I'll have that video up. Sunflower Sammy. It's too bad here in Pima County, Tucson, Arizona, it is very difficult to get into the Master Gardener class. I wish they would offer more classes. See, in Wyoming, we have been doing not only the local county Master Gardener classes, but we have it online too. And so a lot more people have been able to take the class that couldn't have taken it otherwise. But it is a great class. You learn tons and tons of things. But you might search and see if someplace in Arizona on the state university level, they're doing some online classes, and those they can have lots more people. You do still have to do your volunteer hours and then your continuing education within the county, but it gives you some options. So, but, oh, and Cheryl's here too. Hello, Cheryl. But I'm going to let you go. We're 31 minutes and I have a Zoom meeting in just a few minutes. So I will see you guys next time. Have a beautiful weekend. Bye, everybody.